Imagine a world where just using your voice, like I am right now, is against the law, where speaking up could land you in serious trouble. That's the chilling reality for women in Afghanistan today. And that's just one piece of a much larger, incredibly disturbing puzzle that we're going to be diving into today. We're talking about the human rights crisis unfolding in Afghanistan. Specifically, we're going to zero in on the situation of women and girls since the Taliban took back control. Now, major development recently has been the referral of Afghanistan to the International Criminal Court, the ICC, by 6 countries. They're saying the human rights violations, especially against women and girls, are just that severe. So our main source for this deep dive is this article from Indica News. It's written by Mayank Chaya and titled, well, it says it all, 6 countries refer Afghanistan to International Criminal Court over human rights violations. Okay, so this referral to the ICC is a big deal. I mean, it can really put the global spotlight on what's happening and maybe, just maybe, lead to holding those in charge accountable. But what does this referral actually mean? Like, what are the specific things they're being accused of? And the big question, right, does the ICC really have the power to change anything on the ground? The article starts by listing the 6 countries who made this referral: Chile, Costa Rica, Spain, France, Luxembourg, and Mexico. It also points out that the ICC prosecutor, Karim A.A. He's super concerned, and his statement, well, it focuses directly on how bad things have gotten in Afghanistan, especially for women and girls.
Yeah. And something to keep in mind here is that the ICC, they already had an investigation going on in Afghanistan. It actually started way back in 2017. But when the Taliban took over in 2021, well, everything just became way more urgent, right? The focus shifted. It's become undeniably about this systematic persecution of women and girls. So this referral, it really amplifies that. Like, it's a statement to the world: we're watching, and there might be some serious consequences.
Definitely feels like a line in the sand. The article also brings up some pretty alarming reports from UN experts.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't hold back. This one quote just hit me hard. It's from the Special Rapporteur on the situation of human rights in Afghanistan. They said, and I'm quoting here, "In no other country have women and girls so rapidly disappeared from all spheres of public life, nor are they as disadvantaged in every aspect of their lives." That's heavy stuff. What strikes you most about that assessment, especially given all your expertise?
It's that speed, the sheer scope of how quickly they've been erased. This isn't just about individual rights being violated here and there. This is about tearing down women's participation in society at every level. I mean, think about it. In a matter of months, women went from, I don't know, teachers, doctors, running their own businesses to basically being confined to their homes. Voices silenced, their presence minimized, like it never mattered. And this is an exaggeration, right? That referral document, it spells out all these changes. The details are devastating.
Totally. It's systematic, it's intentional. And the article, it even mentions that ban on girls going to secondary school and university, basically shutting off education and any chance of opportunity for a whole generation. Yeah, it's hard to wrap my head around, what that'll mean in the long run. How can a country function, let alone thrive, when half its population is denied these basic rights?
That's the core of it. It's not just individual suffering. This is about crippling a nation's future. The ban on education, it's just the beginning. You start thinking about the domino effect. Limited health care because female doctors aren't allowed to work. Economic hardship as women are pushed out of jobs. Our culture and intellectual life stifled. The consequences, they're going to be felt everywhere. And for a very long time.
And it goes so much further than education. The article, it goes to how women are banned from, like, parks, gyms, even public baths. Their ability to work, forget about it. Many are barred from working with NGOs and face huge hurdles in other sectors. It's like they're systematically being erased from public life.
Yeah, and even the way they dress. Forcing women to wear the hijab, it's just another way to control their very presence, dictating how they're allowed to exist in the world. This goes way beyond Afghanistan's business, you know what I mean? This is a violation of basic human rights that should matter to all of us.
It's like they're saying human dignity and equality don't matter. And the article quotes Mahbouba Siraj. She's a big name in the fight for women's rights in Afghanistan.
Unfortunately, the subject is not pleasant at all. I was reading reports out of Kabul. There is a new 114-page, 35-article document that the Taliban says is going to promote virtue and eliminate vice. One of the articles forbids a woman's voice to be heard by male strangers in public. If you were in Kabul, you would be arrested, I suppose. So
that's right.
What do you think is going on? I mean, this is beyond absurd now, isn't that?
It's absolutely beyond absurd.
And the strangest thing is that, I mean, they're doing this thing, and what absolutely surprises me is the fact that the whole world is watching and thinking that it's perfectly fine to be doing these things. That is the part that I'm sorry, I really don't get it. It's like one group has gone, maybe, are doing their thing. That was their thing always. But what about the world? Was it their thing always also? I have no idea what is going on. But yeah, they're all accepting it, and they think it's the way we are, and this is the way we want, and it's an internal policy of my country, and then everything is fine, and they should be doing that. That's it, and nobody's saying anything. And right now, my voice is haram, for God's sakes. I mean, everything else was our face, our body, everything. Yeah. Now my voice.
She sums up the world's reaction. She says it's like everyone's turning a blind eye, like they're writing it off as just, quote, an internal policy of Afghanistan. Her words, they're powerful. What do you think she means by that? And what does it say about how the world is responding or not responding to this whole crisis?
It says a lot about how abandoned many Afghans feel, women especially. They see the world watching this tragedy play out, but not really doing anything to stop it. Sure, there's been some talk, some condemnation, some humanitarian aid trickling in, but is it enough? No. And this idea that it's just an internal policy that's dangerous, it creates this feeling of helplessness, like nothing can be done, like it's inevitable, like no outside force can change anything.
Almost like a way to justify doing nothing, right? Like it's not our problem.
Exactly. And that sets a really dangerous precedent, because when we start accepting the oppression of an entire gender as just, oh, that's their culture or it's an internal matter, well, we're chipping away at the whole idea of universal human rights. This is bigger than Afghanistan. It's about the values we as a global community are supposed to stand for.
Makes you think.